write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially.
I have done.
In a substantial way.
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from of being in the center.
And being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, you know, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
They looked at just 12 southern states between 1877 to 1950. Turns out there were 3,959 victims of what they call racial terror lynchings.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only conclude what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, that the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby has anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks I give my children to read, those that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma.
In my opinion, the young generation of whites, blacks, browns, whatever there is, you're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution, a time when there's got to be a change. People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be built, and the only way it's going to be built is with extreme methods. And I, for one, will join with anyone, don't care what color you are, as long as you want to change this miserable condition that exists on this earth.
What the gay rights ordinance in San Francisco, the main focus is to prevent the people who are already employed, who are gay, who, if they want to come out and break down the stereotypes, prevent them from being fired.
And the home of the brave? Oh! Is this a land with liberty and justice for all? Oh! Is this one nation indivisible under God? Oh!
The term revolutionary, a revolutionary is a man or a woman who is a lot of things, but basically the revolutionary wants to change the nature of society in a way to promote a world where the needs and interests of the people are responsible.
On the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are, and I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does.
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover today asserted that the Black Panthers represent the greatest internal threat to the nation.
Every incident that had been tipped off in this country in the last 2 years up north have been tipped off by uniformed police. Now, I'm not saying the police is right or wrong. I'm saying when you have these incidents presidents has tipped off with this one symbol, then we should look into it and see what it is. When 22 million people, be they black or white, start police brutality, then it's time to start listening to 20 million people and going in. A lot of people say, well, it's not police brutality. Police brutality is not when a cop necessarily knocks me upside the head. It's when a cop calls me nigger when he's making the arrest. It's when he handles me wrongly in every process of processing the arrest. This is a form of police brutality.
America is not unique in its sins as a country. We're not unique in our evils. Where we may be singular is a refusal to acknowledge them. And the legends and myths we tell about our inherent, goodness to hide and cover and conceal so that we can maintain a kind of willful ignorance that protects our innocence. I've had the privilege of growing up in a tradition that didn't believe in the myths and the legends because we had to bear the brunt of them.
Republicans in February blocked Senator Bernie Sanders' bill to provide $21 billion in medical and other benefits for veterans.
When our men and women come home from war, some wounded in body, some wounded in spirit, I don't want to hear people telling me it's too expensive to take care of those wounded veterans. If you think it's too expensive to take care of veterans, don't send them to war.
Back in 1998, a black man, James Byrd Jr., accepted a ride from 3 white men. Instead of taking him home, drove him down a remote Jasper County road, beat him and dragged him for 3 miles behind their pickup truck.
I am, I think, quite disgusted, really, to be honest, that as Muslim legislators, we are constantly being asked to waste our time speaking to issues that other people are not asked to speak to, because the assumption exists is that we somehow support and are for, right? There is an assumption. So I want to make sure that the next time someone is in an audience and is looking at me and Rashida and Abdul and Sam, that they ask us the proper questions that they will probably ask any member of Congress.
The only thing that's really changed is the black woman. I care if you're there. But Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. The same treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frown and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, get with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today.
How many bales of cotton have you picked? How many beans have you taken? He couldn't say nothing.
Earlier today, I heard the beginning of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We the people. It's a very eloquent beginning. But when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that we the people. I felt somehow for many years that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we the people.
A boy last week, he was 16 in San Francisco, told me on television. Thank God we got him to talk. Maybe somebody will start to listen. He said, I got no country, I've got no flag. Now he's only 16 years old. And I couldn't say you do. I don't have any evidence to prove that he does. They were tearing down his house. We were talking about human beings. There's not such a thing as a monolithic wall or, some struggle called the Negro problem. These Negro boys and girls who at 16 and 17 don't believe it means anything that it says, don't feel they have any place here, on the basis of the performance of the entire country.
Well, now, Jim...
No, am I exaggerating?
No, I certainly could not say that you're exaggerating.
My name is Legacy Garner, the daughter of Drew Miller and my dad, Eric Garner. No justice, peace.
You don't think
Jesus Christ. So I don't know on my computer, y'all. So that's why it's been the back and forth. Just make sure that right now it's at 73 CPU. It's something going on. I gotta figure out what's the problem. I'm so irritated right now. Just trying to turn this down just a little bit. Mic check. Ah. I'm to see if it'll stop, but we'll see. More than likely it will. But anyway, as you can tell, in addition to being upset about this daggone computer, I'm upset about Tuesday. As we all know, Bernie Sanders you know what? You know what irritates me? Right now, as you guys know, we have this coronavirus. This is going on. This is like a pandemic around the country. I'm just trying to turn. I think my mic is probably peaking a little bit. So this pandemic around the country, everybody is nervous, scared, rightfully so. They don't know what to do. We got this idiot of a president. I'm sorry. I don't even have myself together because this computer's been tripping, but we have an idiot of a president telling us that everything is okay and everything is all good. And all of a sudden you got people dying everywhere. And just to let you guys know, I was in Michigan all week for the primaries. And both times that I went through the airport, there was no type of precautions for coronavirus. There was nothing. The only thing that they offered was a hand sanitizer when you get on the plane. And it's not even a sign like put this on your hands. If you don't see it, you just keep moving. Normally when you're in the airport, you're not paying attention to much, but you just focus, and that's it. No, let me check you okay. Nothing. I went straight through everything. No, are you sick? No questionnaire. No nothing. No, put on these gloves. No. This is all a consequence of our lovely president of the United States. What's up? Everybody on IG, I just got this. I got a way that I can show y'all through IG. I've been trying to manipulate the system. I've been able to manipulate the system. So you guys is good there. Even though the color is off. I'm looking at the color and it's really off. But that's neither here nor there. We can deal with that. You can still see it live. But anyway, I'm so irritated right now by this computer, but because it's gonna stop. Yesterday, and they were like, "Hey Ty, this coronavirus is real, huh?" He was like, "The NBA just canceled the entire season." Isn't it a shame that it takes the NBA for people to believe that a pandemic is real? Because we have a president that's so preoccupied by his numbers and being reelected that he's willing to not only keep Americans on a cruise ship to keep his numbers down, but to continue to lie to people so that this pandemic can seem less severe than it is. Isn't that amazing? Now, literally, people started to believe that this coronavirus is now an issue because the NBA canceled its entire season. Now people are taking it serious. That it says a lot about our faith in our government, our faith in our president, our faith in the information that we're receiving from this country. And it's been all day today, so I'm gonna talk about it. But I think it's very, I ain't gonna say rich. I would say it's very interesting that Bernie Sanders lost Michigan. People, how are we going to pay for Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for free college? How are we going to do this stuff? Where's the money going to come from? But they saying, oh, Trump, it better be the cost tested better be free. Now those same people want free testing for the coronavirus. Those same people want. I mean, before we found out that he made a mistake by saying there'll be free corona treatment, and someone had to correct, and one of the spokespeople for like the medical industry says Trump claims tonight that healthcare insurers have agreed to waive the co-payments. The co-payment for the coronavirus treatment seems to be news to them for testing, not for treatment. A spokesperson for a major insurance lobby, AHIP, says they're only giving you money for testing. And Jim Acosta also kind of mirrored the same thing. Trump tonight said that health insurers have agreed to waive co-payments for the coronavirus treatment, extended insurance coverage to these treatments. White House officials say Trump meant to echo what the vice president said yesterday, that insurers have agreed to waive the co-pay on coronavirus testing. They agreed to waive the pay on coronavirus testing. Everyone wants Medicare for all now. That's interesting. That's amazing. Where are we going to get the cost? Where are we going to get the money? Where are we going to get the money for all this free testing? All this social testing that you guys are asking for, that you don't want, that you think is going to cost so much money. I guarantee if this wasn't a pandemic, and it was just people getting sick, think about that. These tests are like $700 a piece outside of them waiving it. Imagine if people had to pay that money for it, and we have a pandemic. You know what the issue is? That people only give a fuck when it bothers them, when it affects their home, when it affects their children, but they don't care about no one else's children. Just like guns, we can't pass any common sense gun legislation because it only matters when it affects your kids. Until it touches your family, guess what? That's over there. The sense of apathy that runs throughout this country amazes me. And you can see it right now, because don't nobody want to pay for coronavirus testing to make sure they're solid. They want the government to pay for that. But then all of a sudden, we don't want to have health care for the hundreds of millions of people are uninsured in this country. I think it's, let's see. I know I wrote this down somewhere. How many people are uninsured? 78 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured. 87 million Americans. But for some reason, we're occupied with how much we think it's going to cost. But now everybody wants socialism right now. For the coronavirus, we want socialism. It's all good now because it affects you, right? That's why it's all good now, because it affects you. And it can. Everyone is mad, want to get free testing. No one's worried about the cost. No, we'll just pay it ourselves. Why don't you just pay it yourself? Let's just do that. Let's just pay it ourselves. That's socialism in its best form, right? Right? Mongers, you got everybody on the news talking about, oh, how are we going to pay it? It costs $23 trillion or however many, how many $1 trillion they're saying? Because I got it all here. Oh. We'll just get to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is. What is this? I'm just looking for what they saying the cost is. I thought I wrote this. Thought I picked. I'm upset. 100,000 no is disrespect. $35 trillion. $35 trillion. You know what happened today? The stock market crashed so much today. They have this thing. I think the stock market crashed. It didn't crash. It just went down. I ain't gonna say it crashed like that, but it went down. It's the lowest today, lower than it's been since 1987. The lowest it's been since 1987. Do you know the fascinating thing about it going down? I kind of learned some things. They have a thing called they call it a circuit breaker, right? So what happens is when the stock market takes like a nosedive and it starts to go down, what they do is they stop all trading. And it's called a circuit breaker because what happens is a lot of computers do a lot of trading. So once things start to like go down, these computers react and start selling. And so they want to stop that to keep it from completely just crashing, right? Well, that circuit breaker, what that does, it stimulates the stock market by $1.5 trillion in 15 minutes. It holds everything and saves the stock market $1.5 trillion. Where are we going to get the money? Where are we going to get the money? Today, Nancy Pelosi, Congress, came together to put together a package for, and rightfully so. And I think this is one thing that's obviously good about Democrats and things like that. And I think the one thing probably that separates them from Republicans is the fact that they do. There's no fighting that. We can, the reason why the majority of black people and Hispanic people and whoever else are Republicans is because, hold on. I'm going live on IG as well, so I'm looking at these notes. How's it at 10%? Already, man, it's supposed to be staring up. Anyway, I think this is one of the reasons why you see more minorities, people of color. I would say minorities and people of color. I think those are the only ones that really are Democrats. I think you can find like the LGBTQ community. You can find as many Democrats as you can find Republicans. But the reason why is because, for the most part, they care about people. They care about people, I would say, more than Republicans do. Poor people matters to them, sort of. Not poor people, but people at least being able to survive matters to some degree. People being able to live, not decent, but at least live. Republicans don't care if you, I don't even think Democrats care if you die when it comes to things like Medicare. But anyway, they came together to put together a relief, so to speak. The Democrats, this is from Vox. This is from Vox News. I'm going to read this article right quick. Democrats have a new coronavirus relief package. And this is what I was talking about, something that they did. That's good with the, y'all know the lovely Speaker of the House, right? Okay, so House Democrats released their coronavirus economic relief bill late Wednesday night, as layoffs related to the outbreak were reported, but the timing of when they'll vote is still up in the air nearly 24 hours later. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had been negotiating the text in the bill with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin throughout the day on Thursday. The two had their fifth phone call shortly before 4 p.m., her spokesman said. The new multi-billion-dollar bill contains a number of emergency economic measures designed to assist working people and families dealing with the virus, including free coronavirus testing, paid sick leave, and expected unemployment benefits for those laid off related to the coronavirus. Provisions in this bill expanding food assistance alone would cost $1 billion. A congressional budget office scored is expected. It will be in the billions, and I won't go beyond that, but it will be costly. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, Democrat, told reporters of the bill. But I will tell you this. It will be much more costly if we don't provide relief. It will be much more costly if we don't provide relief. I just want to read that again. I'm dyslexic. I'll say I'm a little dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. That's why I read slow and I kind of stutter a bit. It's part of dyslexia and insecurity because I'll be trying to read fast when I know the words be mixed up in my head. But anyway, it will be in the buildings. It will be in the billions, and I won't go beyond that. It will be costly. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer told reporters of the bill. But I will tell you this. It will be much more costly if we don't provide relief. It will be much more costly if we don't provide relief. I think that's kind of that's a good place to stand on right there. It'll be much more costly if we don't provide relief. It will be much more costly if we don't provide relief. What does that even mean? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like socialism. That sounds like socialism. That sounds like We want our neighborhood protected, so let's pay some people to patrol around and kill a couple black people and act like they're protecting and serving. That sounds like if my house is on fire, there's some people that we can call to put the fire out. That sounds like if I have an issue, my government is there to make sure that I don't fall all the way on my face. Socialism. It's costly, but I tell you this, it will cost even more. This is what Bernie's been saying. We will reduce the cost of Medicare in this country if we do Medicare for all. But no one gives a fuck because it doesn't affect them. And if it affect their family, it affect the ones that they loved, they would want Medicare for all. Now they're so preoccupied with being able to choose. Are you crazy? You can still have the same doctor. It just won't cost nothing. Doctors are still going to be doctors, and they still going to be available just for free. What part don't you get? And even when the middle class get taxed, you ain't even understand it. I think the average person pays $12,000. I think $12,000. The average low income family is way higher than that. It will be reduced to $1,200, and you'll be taxed. I think you'll be taxed. You'll be saving money because the money that you're saving in healthcare per year is far more than the tax you will pay to cover the Medicare for all. But for some reason, people just don't. It doesn't even matter. What this coronavirus has is that people only give a fuck about themselves. When Sandy Hook, you would think 25-year-olds, kindergarten students would push this Congress, this country, to have some common sense gun laws to make sure that this never happens to a child that haven't even had the opportunity to feel their potential, to even contemplate their potential, that we will make sure that this will never happen to them again. But because we live in this capitalist, it's all about me, I'm only thinking about me society, none of it really matters. So if it doesn't happen to my family, I guarantee I've interviewed people that's been a part of that was involved in a mass shooting, and across the board, Nevada, Las Vegas, Colorado, Virginia Tech, Newtown. Across the board, what they say. I became an activist after this happened to me. When it happened over there, I was like, I never thought it would happen to me. Every person that I've interviewed of mass shooting said the exact same thing, and that's what pushed it. Why do we have to wait for it to happen to us? Why do my mother have to die for me to want everybody else to have health care? Why do my mother have to pay $1,000 or go into bankruptcy before I realize that maybe this shit is bigger than me? It's just how I guess it's just how we're made. It's how we in America are made, and none of it matters until it affects us. The coronavirus is affecting everyone, and guess what? We all want it free. We all want the government to come in. Now, you can't help it. This is out of your hands. Just like any type of sickness, any type of cancer is out of your hands. The coronavirus is out of your hands. They've canceled schools. Let me see. Disneyland closed. March Madness canceled. The tennis tour canceled. The NBA canceled. What else is canceled? Schools in Kentucky, Ohio, New Mexico shut down. New Rochelle in New York shut down. There's 1,600 There's 114,000 children that are homeless in New York City that depend on the foods, like the free food in school. Once I think the mayor de Blasio just declared New York City an emergencies, state of emergency. And you guys got to see the video. He said, initially in the video when he started, somebody, I forgot, he was on CNN, but they asked him, so why did you declare the state of emergency? And he said, I have enormous power. I don't know if he meant it that way, but that's how he said it, and that shit sound weird as hell. He said, because I have enormous power. That's exactly what he said. I'm like, what? I need to check to see. I just started going on a rant because that shit got me hot. I'm gonna see how many who's on the live right now. Let's see, because I know I done started like 5 or 6 times on y'all. My bad. What's up? Who's for Wall Street? Yeah, they have that for Wall Street. Who's that? Dwayne, what's going on, bro? What's up with it? Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Matter of fact, let me mute this. Check it out. Sorry, I had like 20 false starts because my computer was tripping. But go ahead and do what y'all supposed to do. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification. Share this. I'm trying to build up the channel. While I was out in Michigan with Status Quo, I was able to hold on to about, what did I get like? I think I got 100. I think I only had 8 going into the week. Now I got 112 followers. So go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know, do the right thing. Who was that, Michael? Everybody on, yeah, I've been going live. I tried to manipulate the system too to go live on IG. So, yeah, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I always forget that. See that YouTube? There you go. The YouTube at the bottom. Do all that. But anyway, I think it's real rich that Judy, who's that? It's been very different on SS to buy taxable items and extra food stamps. 16 in food stamps didn't go far again to stock up again. I've been selling things I need. She's been selling things she need later just to buy extra dog food from. Wow, my bad, Judy. I'm sorry that's going on. Hit the like button, y'all. I'm sorry that's going on. Hopefully it'll. I don't know if it'll get better or not, man. I don't even want to front. This shit is so depressing to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm arguing with my family like every day because it's only one person. I'm gonna show y'all a video. This is how Biden feel about y'all right now when it comes to healthcare, and this is a reason why you're gonna get a repeat of 2016 because of stuff like this. This is how right now. This is Biden. This is how he feel about y'all. Just want you to see. Let's go here.
And I've asked other candidates this kind of question, veto question. Let's flash forward. Your president, Bernie Sanders, is still active in the Senate. He manages to get Medicare for all through the Senate in some compromised version, the Elizabeth Warren version or other version. Nancy Pelosi gets a version of it through the House of Representatives. It comes to your desk. Do you veto it?
I would veto anything that delays providing the security and the certainty of health care being available now. If they got that through and some miracle, and there was an epiphany that occurred, and some miracle occurred that said, is passed, then you got to look at the cost. I want to know, how did they find the $35 trillion? What is that doing? It's going to significantly raise taxes on the middle class, which it will. What's going to happen? Look, my opposition isn't to the principle that you should have Medicare. I mean, everybody, healthcare should be a right in America. My opposition relates to whether or not, A, it's doable, two, what the consequences for the rest of the budget are. How are you going to find $35 trillion over the next 10 years without having profound impacts on everything from taxes for middle class and working class people, as well as the impact on the rest of the budget?
You know how you're going to find $35 trillion? Huh? You know how you're going to find $35 trillion? Tell you how you're going to find $35 trillion. Cut this S off. Circuit. What do they call it? What do they call it? Circuit breaker. Every 15 minutes. What's 15 times 3? What? 35 million? Do it like 15 times. You'll have a 35 for sure. 15-minute circuit breaker gives you 1.5 trillion. But it's not about that. And see, that's the thing that's frustrating to me, is that they don't even question that. You got, even while they're trying to get money for the relief fund that Nancy Pelosi was talking about earlier this morning, even while they're trying to get that, they're still going back and forth. There's nothing that's been solidified yet. They're still trying to figure it out because it's for the people. But they just shut that thing down, period. It gets under a certain amount, it shuts down for 15 minutes, which then gives the market $1.5 trillion. Where we going to get the money? It's amazing. It's amazing. Everyone wants a socialist Medicare now, right? For Corona, they want the government to pay for it. They want the government to pay for testing. You shouldn't want the government to pay for just because you get testing. Then what? What if you have it? Then what? What if you're over 65? Then what? They don't pay for the rest of the treatment. You know how much treatment costs? This is crazy. Treatment. Average cost. CBC blood test. Uninsured, $36. Insured, $11. CMP blood test. Non-insured, $58. Insured, $16. Flu testing, B virus, $43 insured, uninsured, $16 insured. Uninsured, yeah. Office outpatient visit, 15 minutes, $149 for uninsured, $74 for insured. Outpatient visit, 25 minutes, $222 for uninsured, $110 insured. A 40-minute outpatient, $327 for uninsured, $161 insured. Mobile urgent care visit, and let's not even talk about calling a paramedic. $239 and insured $129. I mean, you see the statistics. Look at them. High, severe. No one cares. No one cares. And I think it's amazing, though. Everybody want to be tested, right? Everybody mad at Trump for not testing. Everybody mad at Trump. Go get tested yourself. pay for it. You want to have Medicare for all? This is socialism right here y'all talking about. Why would you want that? That's not America. Why do we need America? Why do we need the police? That's not America. Why we need SSI? That's not America. Why do we need the government to have a relief fund? Because these people are out here and can't help it, front all that money and have to be like, I have to lay you off. Out of their control. And right now we can understand the empathy that needs that people try to differentiate this from anything other than what Bernie's been talking about is because they're selfish as fuck. And Medicare for all will not help. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't significantly change their life because they can afford Medicare. They don't care about the people that cannot. Period. Because right now they want it. Right now they understand because we're all in it together. If we're all in it together, let's be all in it together. Shut the F up, man. This is crazy out here. My back, my whole neck, I couldn't even move last year for the longest time. And I didn't have Medicare. Every visit was $150. And I couldn't get an MRI. I had to wait to get an MRI. My MRI, I think Jordan ended up lending me money. My MRI was $350 something just to see, and everything else. I couldn't afford that. I couldn't even move. And I wanted Medicare for all way before that. But if y'all went through what I went through, y'all could barely move your neck. Y'all understand, but why do you have to go through it? Why do you have to be the parent whose child got shot in a mass shooting to get your ass out there and campaign for gun legislation that will keep that from happening? Why got to happen to you first? That's what pisses me off, man. Hold on. Bernie and Biden was talking about, the coronavirus. I just want to talk about that right quick. She got me hot. It's hot in here. My spirit hot. Shoot. I need to smoke some weed or something. I'm just playing. No, I'm not. Hold on. It's Biden's ass. Mind you, we just saw the video where Biden said he will veto. He will veto. And this is who y'all want for president. Ugh. Let's not even get into his racist ass past or his racist ass present. Y'all niggas. Hold on.
I'm releasing a plan to combat and overcome the coronavirus. The full details of the plan, want to see them, go to joebiden.com, where I lay out the immediate steps we have to take to deliver one, decisive public health response to curb the spread of the disease and to provide treatment to those who need it, and a decisive economic response that delivers real relief.
Go to my website. Lay it out. Why you can't lay it out to us right now? Tell us your policy. Go to my website. Such a leader.
To American workers, families, and small businesses, and protects the economy as a whole. I offer it as a roadmap, not for what I will do as president 10 months from now, but for the leadership that I believe is needed and required at this very moment. President Trump is welcome to adopt all of it today. The core principle is simple. Public health professionals must be the ones making our public health decisions and communicating with the American people. Public health professionals. It would be a step toward reclaiming public trust and confidence in the United States government as well, toward stopping the fear and chaos that can overtake communities faster than this pandemic can overtake them. And it's critical to mounting an effective national response that will save lives, protect our frontline health workers, slow the spread of the virus. First, anyone who needs to be tested based on medical guidance should be tested at no charge. at no charge.
Now they want to do no
The
charge.
administration's failure on testing is colossal, and it's a failure of planning, leadership, and execution. The White House should measure and report each day, each and every day, how many tests have been ordered, how many tests have been completed, and how many have tested positive. By next week, the number...
Mind you, South Korea, to date, has administered 10,000 tests per day. 10,000. America, in total, 11,000, period. That's where we are. So we don't even know where we stand as far as the coronavirus is concerned. Anybody could have it. People are going to offices. There's no test available. We don't know nothing.
Tests should be in the millions, not the thousands. We should make every person in a nursing home available for testing. Every senior center or vulnerable population has to have easy access to the test. And we should establish hundreds of mobile testing sites, at least 10 per state, and drive-through testing centers to speed testing and protect the health of our workers. The CDC, private labs, universities, and manufacturers should be working lockstep to get this done and get it done correctly. No effort should be spared, none. No excuses should be made. Tests should be available to all who need them. And the government should stop at nothing to make that happen. We must know the true extent of this outbreak so we can map it, trace it, and contain it.
Then what happens, though? Tell me that. Then what happened? Okay, now we tested it. Now I got the corona. Now what? Now I got to figure out how I'm gonna pay for it, huh? Now is that what I have to do now? Now it's all on me. Now I'm on my own. Is that what it is? Now I'm on my own. How many, did I put the statistics of homeless in this country? You know how many homeless people are without insurance? And like I said, the amount of people that are, the 87 million Americans that are underinsured or uninsured, what about them? Because once I get tested and I got it, then what? Now it's on me. You can live or die. I got a cat for my birthday, and my cat got sick, and they ended up helping. We had to go through it, but at one point they was like, oh well, we can do up to $1,500, and then it's $700 just to take the cat in to see what's wrong with him. $1,500 ain't going nowhere. So what you gonna just all these animal activists, PETA and everything? Y'all just gonna it's with humans. You love humans until they ain't got no money, until they ain't got insurance. Then you're on your own. You know what I'm saying? You love humans. You love babies. You don't want people to have abortions until they're born. And then, hey, you ain't got no insurance. You're going to die. We're against abortions, but once you're born, you're on your own. This is amazing, this country. It's sad. It's sad. What's up, Jonathan? I see you out there. 3 a.m. Is it 3 a.m.? For sure. I could not believe his talking points. I know, Judy. Me neither. It's and people don't get it, man. You know what? You know what's real though? I was in Michigan 5 days leading up to the primaries that just happened, and CNN specifically. I don't watch MSNBC. I can't stand them. I can't stand CNN, but I can deal with them. All they were playing was Biden commercials. They didn't play not one Bernie commercial, period. One Bernie ad or anything. It was either a campaign ad from Biden or from a super PAC. We talked to some ladies, black ladies. They didn't know anything about Biden's history, about him lying, about his involvement in civil rights activism. They didn't know that he lied about being arrested with Nelson Mandela. They didn't know that he plagiarized 3 speeches at his first presidential run in 1988. They knew about the crime bill. They didn't know that he said that he wasn't apologizing for it and bragged that he wrote the crime bill. They forgot about him calling Obama the reason that people wanted to vote for him because he's the first clean, articulate black. Let's see what Bernie has to say about this pandemic. And I'm sorry about my computer. I got to figure out what's wrong with it. I know it's stuttering. Y'all hang in there with me, though. Biden is not our friend. No, he's not. You're absolutely right, Jonathan. There's nothing about him that's our friend, bro. Y'all follow me. I know y'all on IG, Twitter, Instagram. Let me find Bernie right quick. Let's find Bernie. I think this is it. This computer's running slow. My bad, y'all. That's him. Down with you, buddy. There we go.
The fatalities may end up being with the number of people who may get ill, and we all hope that that number will be as low as possible. But we also have to face the truth, and that is that the number of casualties may actually be even higher than what the armed forces experienced in World War II. In other words, we have a major, major crisis, and we must act accordingly. Therefore, it is an absolute moral imperative that our response...
You know, what I was saying earlier, just to sidebar a little bit, I was thinking that this is a good opportunity, like for Bernie. I wish he would have done it earlier, but he can still do it. For him to take the coronavirus as his own, as if he was the president of the United States. We got a president that's lying and everything. And I remember back in 2008 when Obama and McCain was running for the presidency, and we had the housing crisis. And then when they had the debate after, Obama had like a 5-point plan to address the housing crisis, and McCain didn't even know what to do. He didn't have no type of plan, and that's what kind of threw him over the edge to help him win the presidency. I wish Bernie would have just make it be his and have all the information come through him. Just have him on point, holding press conferences. This is where we are. This is what's going on. Just show, people trying to say that he's not electable and show that electability. Show that you're a leader, man. Show this is like a great opportunity because this dude is just lying. And to me, it seems like he's trying to hold off till summer. Because once the general election come, he wanna it already backfired on him. It's gonna be way worse for him, and he don't realize that they won't even have a vaccine for 9 months. So we're gonna damn near be in November. I can't believe Bernie lost Michigan, man.
As a government, as a society, as a business community, and as individual citizens, meet the enormity of this crisis. As people stay or work from home and are directed to quarantine, it will be easy for us to feel like we are all alone. I'm working at home, not in my office. Or that we must only worry about ourselves and think that everybody else should fend for themselves. But in my view, that would be a tragic and dangerous mistake. If there ever was a time in the modern history of our country when we are all in this together. This is that moment. Now is the time for solidarity. Now is the time to come together with love and compassion for all, including the most vulnerable people in our society who will face this pandemic from a health perspective or face it from an economic perspective. If our neighbor or co-worker gets sick, we have the potential to become sick. If our neighbor loses his or her job, then our local community suffers and we may lose our jobs. We are in this together. If doctors and nurses and medical personnel do not have the equipment and the training and the capacity they need right now, people we know may unnecessarily face additional illness and even death. We are all in this together. Unfortunately, in this time of international crisis, it is clear to me, at least, that we have an administration that is largely incompetent and whose incompetence and recklessness have threatened the lives of many, many people in our country. So today I would like to give a brief overview of what, in my view, we must do to respond to this crisis. First and foremost, we are dealing with a national emergency, and the President of the United States must understand that and declare that emergency. Next, because President Trump is unwilling and unable to lead selflessly, we must immediately convene an emergency bipartisan authority of experts to support and direct a response that is comprehensive, compassionate, and based first and foremost on science and fact. In other words, Congress, in a bipartisan manner, must take responsibility for addressing this unparalleled crisis. Further, we must aggressively make certain that the public sector and the private sector are strongly cooperating with each other, and we need national and state hotlines staffed with well-trained people who have the best information available. One of the aspects of the current crisis is there are people.
See that's what he's doing right now. I don't know if you guys haven't seen the whole thing, y'all can go and watch it. But that's what he's doing right now. He's taking it on. He has a point of leadership, and mind you, he's always been this way. It's always been about us and not me. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't understand why people fall into the trap of thinking, or just listening to these pundits that really don't want to see him in office, because they know if he's in office, he's gonna chip away at their money. They love Donald Trump. They probably don't like his lack of decorum, and they don't like how he treats people, but they love his policies because his policies help them. People on CNN make millions a year. And his tax cuts, all those things, that help them. They may not like him socially, but economically, they love him. They just hate how he acts. They hate how we're perceived now, how people see us. They don't give a fuck about the people. But now, all of a sudden, we want Medicare for all. We want free testing. I hope y'all can really see like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Really see like the hypocrisy in this. We don't want Medicare for all, but we do want the free testing. We do want to make sure we're wondering why Trump is lying to us and why we don't have tests available. Why don't you just go to your doctor and use your own medical insurance and just continue to get tested and pay for it until they figure it out? Since you don't want Medicare for all, since your family has insurance and everyone that you love don't have to worry about Medicare because you're well off or better off than a lot of majority of the people in this country, where you want to vote against a person that only wants to do things that will be better for the entire country, not just the top 10% of this country. Very interesting. That's all I want to say today. I'm drained. My heart is weary. But like I said, y'all, building up this channel, so go ahead and follow us, subscribe, like the page, hit the notification bell, share this. We're growing. Hopefully tomorrow, the computer will be better. I got to figure out what's going on. Something happened. This daggone computer. Shit costs an arm and a leg, and they give me problems every other day. But in the spirit of hating Biden, let's watch this video. The American Negro, is that not how you say it? The Negro in America. Come on, Joe. I don't buy the concept popular in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the black man for 300 years, and the white man is now far ahead in the race for everything we offer in this society.
We decided we were going to change the world, and we did. We did. We finished the civil rights movement to the first stage.
Word.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
We must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail. Away from my mother, your husband, our families. We would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist. Evidence of that, the Democratic senator from Delaware.
Bobby Rush, member of Congress, said the other day, "I'm ashamed that I voted for the '94 crime bill." You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. And in fact, I drafted the bill.
Now the 2020 campaign.
Joe Biden is almost certain to run for president in 2020.
Wait to see if Biden is going to get into this race, and if so, when?
As Joe Biden is about to announce.
Bring on Biden.
Dang it.
I haven't always been right. I know we haven't always gotten things right. Back in 2010, Barack and I finally reduced the disparity in sentencing, which we've been fighting to eliminate, in crack cocaine versus powder cocaine. It was a big mistake when it was made. We thought we were told by the experts that crack, you never go back.
Goddamn pickaninny.
Hope you enjoy.
You like that last video? Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where the progressives have a voice. And remember, share this, like it, subscribe to the channel so we can grow. The Section Independent, that part.